What is up, guys? Welcome back to the weekly live stream. Normally this will be on Mondays, but due to the holiday decided to push it to Tuesday this week. But glad you guys could join me. Hope everyone had a great holiday season, able to spend some time with your family, the people that you care about, and eat some good food. So I'm back in North Carolina, so a little bit of a change of scenery here. So yeah, if you guys don't know, I grew up in North Carolina. This is where I learned how to snowboard, and yeah, it's nice to be back home. So if you guys have any questions related to snowboarding or gear questions, please go ahead and start dropping those down in the comments. I'm going to try to get to as many questions as I can. And if you have a question that you really need to get answered, this is a super chat. So you can make a small donation. It'll highlight your comment and make sure that I get to it and get your question answered. So yeah, thank you guys again for being here. Also, if you're new to the channel, please make sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell. It'll let you know anytime we go live or anytime that a video is uploaded. And as far as what I've been up to, if you guys have been following the channel, you know that I've been in Whistler recently. Had a great time up in Whistler with Kevin. Great snowboarding going down up there. Got a nice mix of conditions. We had some really cold, kind of firm days. Had some sun towards the beginning of the trip, and then even got some nice powder towards the end of the trip. So we've gotten lots of videos up so far while I was there. We were staying real busy doing a bunch of editing, and yeah, there's still more to come. So soon, actually probably either later today or tomorrow morning, the K287 video review is going to get uploaded. Also still have a video review coming for the Jones Mind Expander, which I know a lot of you have been waiting for. I'm actually really excited to get that one out. That was probably the best day of the trip. It was the last day, but it was incredible. We hiked, we summited Whistler Blackcomb, and rode some pretty awesome powder on the way down. So that was a lot of fun. And yeah, then pretty much went back to Denver, spent a couple of days at Evo in Denver, and then came straight back here to North Carolina for the holidays. And in a couple of weeks, I'm going to actually be back with Kevin. We're going to be snowboarding in Mammoth with the Sport RX guys. You may have seen some of their live streams on the channel in the past. They're super knowledgeable with the snow goggles. They got all the answers when it comes to goggles. So yeah, that's kind of what I've been up to and what's to come. So super excited to ride in Mammoth. I'm also going to be driving out there, so I'm going to try to stop through Utah on the way back to Colorado. So if any of you guys are out in Utah and you want to catch some laps, I'll probably be riding for a couple of days out there. So hit me up on Instagram or drop a comment below the video here at Board Archive on Instagram. Kevin's at SnowboardProCamp if you want to check us out on social media. But yeah, that's about all I got to announce. So looks like we got a couple of super chats already, or at least one. Let me see what we got going on here. So Justin Vasey with the $5 super chat. Thank you, man. I appreciate it. No questions, so I don't know if you meant to leave a question or not. If you did, I'll keep an eye out on the regular comments. But thank you, man. Another $5 super chat from JT Gutierrez. Thank you, man. I appreciate it. So JT asks, not really a buying advice question, but I recently got in a snowboard accident. I broke my femur. Any tips on injury recovery to be ready to ride ASAP? Man, JT, I'm so sorry to hear that. Femur is probably my most feared injury. I'm really sorry you had to go through that. I hope it wasn't too painful. I'm sure it wasn't very pleasant though. So yeah, man, I honestly, I've never had that serious of an injury. I know the femur is pretty serious. So the most serious injury I ever had was I broke my ankle in two places. That was a couple of years ago. It was about a 9-month recovery for me. And there was a few factors that kind of led to that. One was that it looked like the the ankle was going to be able to kind of heal on its own without having surgery. And so I waited about 3 months, did all my physical therapy, did everything the doctors were telling me, and it just wasn't healing up because I had a loose piece of bone in my ankle, and it never fused back together. So then I ended up having to get surgery, took 2 months to schedule it, and then it was a 3-month recovery after the surgery. So the best advice I could say, man, is if you know, go with your gut. You know, if you really feel like, you know, if the doctor says there's a good chance you're going to need surgery, you might as well go ahead and knock it out, in my opinion, unless you really think there's a good chance of it healing without it. That would have taken, you know, 5 months off my recovery. And just, yeah, really follow the doctor's orders, do your physical therapy, take it really seriously, and that should get you back on the hill as soon as possible, man. I'm sorry to hear about your femur, man. All right, so I'm gonna go back to the regular comments here. I'm gonna scroll up a little bit and see what kind of questions we got coming through here. So I'm just gonna scroll all the way to the top, guys. So Alvaro Rojas, wait, how's it summer? No, it's actually pretty cold, man. I'm like pretty bundled up right now. I don't have my battery charger for my phone right now, so I'm hoping that it's gonna last for the whole live stream. But if I randomly cut out, that's probably because my phone died, but hopefully it won't come to that. But yeah, it's pretty cold out here. We just don't really have much snow in North Carolina. We don't get a whole lot of snow. Yeah, I'm in western North Carolina right now, for you guys that are wondering. So in a small town called Franklin, near Asheville, North Carolina. That's where I grew up, in Franklin right now. So this is kind of what the mountains look like out here. Jake the Boss, new snowboarder, getting helped out by the channel. Glad to hear that, man. Fat Woofer asking, how do you super chat? I'm not sure how to do it on mobile. I know on desktop, underneath the chat, there's a little button that allows you to donate. So if you want to check that out, I know it's a little bit easier on desktop. And Preston C, do a review on Gilson snowboards. So Gilson actually sent out the Dual. I actually have it. It's in Colorado. I'm definitely going to be doing a review on it. Probably going to get that review out in between this trip when I get back to Colorado and Mammoth. So I have a couple of weeks in Colorado. I'm going to try to get that review done. Also, I'm going to do a review on the Ruroc helmets. They sent me out a helmet, so we'll be checking those out, putting them to the test. And another one I'd really like to do is the Union Contact versus the Force versus the Atlas for you guys, just to throw them all on the same board throughout a day and give you a direct comparison on those guys. So that's coming. Also the No Bad Day Ambition. If you guys saw, I saw they just sent Kevin out the 159. I've got the 155, so I'm going to also be doing a comprehensive review on that guy. I'm going to be taking it out into Keystone A51, and yeah, lots of awesome stuff to come, guys. So I think I saw, let's see, another super chat come in here. So Joel Jaffe, I just broke my Rossi Templar and I really loved it. I'm looking for a new park board that holds an edge, but I've got a size 13 boot. Any suggestions? Well, if edge hold is something, you know, that's really important to you, I would check out Arbor or, you know, GNU. Both of those boards are going to have the best additional contact points, in my opinion. So as far as a park board goes, you could try the Arbor Westmark Camber. I'd highly recommend that one. Kevin just got the rocker and I know he's loving it. So that's going to have Grip Tech, which basically is an additional contact point placed right under your feet. So you're going to get that awesome grip for edge hold. It's also going to make the board a little bit wider underfoot, which is going to help for that larger boot size. But with a size 13 boot, I definitely would recommend getting a wide. And I know they do make that board in a wide. So yeah, the Arbor Westmark Camber, man, I think you'd really enjoy that one. So check that one out. I'll put a link in the description once the video is over, and there'll be a link going directly to that board if you want to check it out. Thanks for the super chat, man. Appreciate it. All right, so Robin Dirk yeah, Derek's great question here. Do bib pants restrict your movement a lot? So personally, I actually have never worn bibs, but Kevin just got some bibs. He got some Decine bibs, and he's been loving them. And it's funny that you asked that. One of the things that he was saying is that he actually has really great range of movement in them because they kind of hang from the shoulder straps. So that way they're not like, there's nothing restricting around your waist. And yeah, he had really good movement, and I think he's been loving them. So definitely recommend bibs if you're into that. Yeah, I'm hoping to get some bibs at some point myself. I think it's a good look, and also they're just really functional, keeping that snow out from up your back, and yeah, increasing your range of movement as well. Awesome, guys. So I'm seeing we got about 125 people with us right now. Thank you guys for being here. We're at 56 likes. If you guys want to give the video a thumbs up, I appreciate it. Let's see if we can get the likes over 100. That'd be pretty awesome. Xterra Rob is TJ from NC. Yes, sir. Grew up here in Western North Carolina, lived here most of my life. Went to school at Appalachian State, and yeah, I love North Carolina, man. Grew up riding Appalachian Ski Mountain and Beach, and yeah, love it, man. It's a great place to be. Lex Life, I live in Asheville. Awesome. Timur Midjarov, have you been to Beach or Sugar? Absolutely, been to both of them. Definitely prefer Beach out of those two. But App Ski Mountain was my stomping grounds back in the day. I love that place. Holds a real special place in my heart. And yeah, I would have loved to get up there during this trip, but I'm only here for a couple of days. So if I come back later in the season, I'll try to get out there, and maybe any of you North Carolina guys could come out and we can get some laps in. Hudson Devarney in Boone. Yeah, man, lived in Boone for several years. Another great place that I really care about. Shay Boyce, is Firefly a good company? Not familiar with Firefly, but thanks for your question. So guys, I think my battery is already starting to drain, so I might actually take this inside to see if I can get the battery to last a little bit longer. I was hoping to go for an hour, but if not, I'm also going to be doing a Patreon live hangout probably 15 minutes after this one's over. So just patreon.com/boardarchive if you want to come hang out there. It's a little more casual, a little bit more kind of direct, just kind of hanging out. Less people there for sure. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and go inside just to see if I can get this to last a little bit longer. Give me one sec, guys. Alright, so it's really warm in here. You guys might even be able to hear me a little bit better, so we'll just hang out kind of right here. Hopefully this works. So let me scroll up. Tom Abe asks, what do you think about battalion boards, in particular the Goliath? Yeah, if you guys don't know, I'm a big fan of battalion snowboards. My personal freestyle board for this season is the Battalion Evil Twin. So that's going to be a true twin, full camber snowboard, and all battalion boards are going to have triple base technology, which is huge in my opinion. In my opinion, it really combines the best of both worlds when it comes to rocker and camber. So you still get the power of you still get the full power of camber and even more catch free than rocker. So some of you guys are saying I missed some super chats. Let me get those pulled up here. Matthew McGaw, hit me up when you roll through Utah, when you're coming through, and the best new board on the market. So it'll probably be mid-January, the week of after Martin Luther King Jr. Day, so probably like the 16th or 17th will be the 2 days I'll be there if I'm able to go. So yeah, I'll be posting on my Instagram story, but honestly the best way to hit me up, man, is going to be on Instagram. Just drop a comment on the most recent photo and I'll follow you, and I'll try to keep you posted, man. I definitely would love to get up and get some laps, and maybe we could throw a video together while I'm out there. That'd be a lot of fun. Justin Vasey, oh, also, man, thank you for the $5 super chat. Really appreciate it. Yeah, that helps out a lot, guys. Thank you. Justin Vasey with the $2 super chat. Thank you, man. No question. Appreciate it. I'll keep an eye out on the comments for your question if you meant to drop one. And then we got Saul Goodman. with the, let's see, what is this, HUF 400. Not exactly sure what currency that is, but thanks a bunch, man. Seems, I think, I'm not sure how much that is, honestly, but I appreciate it either way. Thank you so much, man. And he says, I want to see you ride the Rome RK1 Stale Sandbeck model. Guys, I'm going to try to plug my phone in right here because my phone I was at 75% when I started, and I just got a notification that I'm at 10%. So let's see if I can plug this in and maybe keep this going for the full hour, hopefully. So awesome. So now we're plugged up. Hopefully we're good, guys. Hope everyone can hear me okay. And it looks like the lighting just got a little bit better as well. Awesome. Yeah, the Rome RK1 Stale model, I'd love to try it out. I haven't been on that many Romes. It's been kind of hard to get a hold of, but I'm going to try to hit Rome up and see if I can get on a few of their boards this year. I definitely would like to get on that one. I know Stale is one of my favorite riders, just super stylish, always going huge. Yeah, I love that guy. I'd love to try out his board for sure. Anna H, what do you think of the Salomon Lotus Women's 2018 as a beginner snowboard? I think that's a great option. Yeah, the Lotus comes in at a great price point. It's more of a kind of a basic snowboard, so you're not going to have a whole lot of bells and whistles in there. But it's definitely a really solid beginner board, something you can learn on well. It's going to be easy to control and maneuver, softer flexing, and something you can progress with as well. Bill Bobby, are Bolet goggles good? Not sure, never tried out Bolet goggles. I'm sure they're decent, but when we're in Mammoth, Kevin and I are actually going to be with the Sport RX guys all week, and we will be there for a Monday and a Friday, so will be going live with us both Monday and Friday. So that's going to be the January 7th to the 12th. So if you want to join us on that live stream, that'd be the best time to ask that question. I'm sure they would have a much better answer for you than I would, man. But thank you for your question. So Alex 2G asks, does stance matter even if you are really duck-footed / will it hurt performance? Yeah, stance definitely matters. I would say, for freestyle, I'd recommend just a symmetrical duck stance centered on the the reference stance. That way the board's going to ride exactly the same in both directions, and yeah, you're not going to have any issues there. If you're looking to not really ride switch at all, not really do much freestyle, and you want more of a carving stance, you can push in your back foot a little bit more. So maybe do like positive 15 on the front and like negative 9 on the back. Personally, when I do a carving stance, I set my stance to just negative 12. Normally I ride negative 15, positive 15, but when I'm carving, I just do negative 12, and that's enough for me to notice and kind of open my hips up a little bit more. James Coletrap, how old are you? I'm 28. My birthday was December 4th, just turned 28. So, yeah. Awesome, guys. So I saw we got 140 people with us now. We made it up to 116 likes. That's what's up, guys. Thank you. If we can get up to 150, that'd be really rad. If you want to give the video a thumbs up, really helps us out, helps get the word out there. And yeah, if you got any friends or family that need help learning how to snowboard or with snowboard advice, if you share the video or even just tell them about the channel, there's so many great resources on here for people. We appreciate it, guys. So Stebbin the Gamer asks, do you like the Deep Thinker? Yeah, if you guys didn't see, I recently did a video review on the Burton Deep Thinker. It's a brand new snowboard from Burton for 2018. I loved it. I mean, we had great conditions, probably the perfect conditions I could have asked for the test. That was my first powder day of the season, and yeah, we probably had like 8 to 10 inches of snow in the trees, and just sending cliffs, getting pow slashes, going through trees, swerving around, launching off cat tracks. It was a lot of fun. Yeah, great snowboard, floats really, really well. Directional flex, so you got you know, a lot of stability in the tail for those more technical lines and landings, and a little bit softer in the nose to just help make the board a little bit more damp and help it float a little bit better. So yeah, the Deep Thinker's awesome. Check out the video review if you haven't yet. So that's on the channel. That's one of the recent videos on the channel. And then we got the K287 review coming up soon, which is actually pretty similar, kind of similar to the Deep Thinker. So that one's coming up soon as well. All right, guys, let me scroll through here, see what questions we got coming in. So Hoping Eagle 8244 asks, I live in New Zealand and I wanted to buy the Salomon Huck knife for our 2018 season, which starts in June. However, Salomon does not ship internationally. Is there any other way I could get this board? Well, I would just, you know, wherever is the closest distributor to you. So I don't know if they sell Salomon in Europe. I think they do. What you can do is called freight forwarding. It's not the easiest way to get a snowboard, but if you want something, you know, and they don't ship international, you can basically reach out to a freight forwarding company, and when you put in the order, it'll ship it to them, and then they'll ship it to you. I've never personally done that. I've just heard about it. So yeah, if you guys are in that predicament, you can check that out. How does the Deep Thinker, so a question from Matt Huang, how does the Deep Thinker compare to what Kevin rides, the S420? Yeah, so they're still pretty different. I would classify the Free Thinker as more of a Freeride snowboard. You can actually still do a lot of freestyle stuff with it. I've seen, it's Danny Davis's, one of his pro models, and I've actually seen him ride it in the pipe and do all kinds of cool stuff with it. The 420 is more of a true powder board. It's just really fat and wide and really short, and it has a super short tail. Whereas the Deep Thinker still has a, you know, it has a setback stance, but it still has some tail to it. So they're pretty different. You know, the Deep Thinker floats well, but it's not going to be as floaty and surfy as the 420. It's not going to swivel through the trees as well as the 420 on those powder days. But yeah, that's kind of the main differences in my opinion there, man. Thanks for the question. Jake the Boss, when should I hit the blue slopes? Well, if you're feeling comfortable on greens, you're linking your turns, you know how to stop, you feel like you're in control, I would go ahead and hit a blue, honestly. Once you feel like you're in control and you know how to stop, you can do it. The biggest thing, you know, is blues are just going to be a little bit steeper in places. They may be a little bit icier as well, so just kind of be ready for that, so that doesn't freak you out. And yeah, I would say go for it, man. If you feel like you're ready, send it. All right. Alex 2G, what do you think of the Arbor Clovis? Awesome question. I actually really like the Clovis. Well, I haven't ridden it, but I like the sounds and the looks of it, I should say. So it's got all the bells and whistles from Arbor. You know, it's going to have the real wood top sheet. It's going to have grip tech. It's going to have a sintered base. And it's actually a directional twin snowboard, so just like the Iguchi Pro. So, you know, I know it looks like a very directional board with the shape of that nose and tail, but it actually is a true twin between the contact points with the stance centered. So it's going to ride the same in both directions, and it has a little bit of a longer nose than tail outside the contact points. Also, I believe it's a camber board, so it's going to have their uprise fenders under the contact points, making it a little bit more catch-free, but still retaining that full power of the camber, you know, that you're looking for carving and stuff. So, sick snowboard, you know, if you're looking for something that kind of makes you want to go fast and just look rad when you look down at the board to inspire you, but you want that twinish performance, the Clovis is a good way to go. I imagine it would float pretty well too with that long nose. All right. So we got Cavalier 080854. Hi, I'm 6'3", 210, and size 10 boots. Passed all your lessons. Awesome, man. Doing good. What Burton board would you recommend? Well, you know, it really depends how committed you are. You know, if you're going to be only doing like 5 days this season, or, you know, 35 days this season. That would kind of change my recommendation a little bit. With size 10 boots, I don't think you need a wide snowboard, but you know, since it sounds like you are, you know, kind of just starting off, I would recommend something kind of softer flexing, that's also like a twinish shape or a true twin shape. So, you know, the Burton Clash could be a good option. That's more of a beginner board from Burton. Or if you're feeling, you know, like you're really committed to it, you want something, you know, where you can ride all season on it. It's not going to be too hard to learn with, but it's going to stand up to your progression as you start to ride more aggressively. You could check out the, Burton Custom Flying V would probably be a little bit better for you. Oh man, ladybug just flew in from outside. Right now there's tons of ladybugs in North Carolina. One just landed on my hand. Yeah, awesome guys. Thanks again for being here. I think we're doing good with the phone now. It seems to be charging up, and I think we're doing good. I hope the internet connection is okay. That's really the only other thing I'm worrying about. So I hope you guys can hear me and everything is streaming all right. And yeah, we'll keep this going. Vince Powell Newman, thoughts on the Union Superforce bindings? I'm actually going to just take a seat here, take a load off, guys. So the Superforce is really similar to the Force. It's basically the Force, but with their exo-frame straps added to it, so just upgraded straps. I'm on the Force this year. I'm a big fan of it. They've been performing really well for me. Tried them on a whole bunch of boards, and yeah. So one thing I'm going to be doing pretty soon is I'm going to be doing a direct comparison of the Union Contact versus the Force versus the Atlas. So hopefully that helps you out. But the Force is kind of like the staple binding from Union, just the kind of go-to, do-it-all. You know, whether you're charging really fast on groomers, hitting the trees, hitting powder, or hitting some jumps and park stuff, the Force is going to be a solid option for you. And yeah, in my experience, that's exactly how I feel about them. They've performed really well everywhere I've taken them. Oh gosh, I gotta sneeze, guys. Oh wait, no, false alarm. Stebbin the Gamer, what's your favorite ski hill in Canada? I've only ridden Whistler, which I think is pretty lucky. I think Whistler is kind of one of the top-notch resorts out there, and Whistler is amazing. Check out all the videos me and Kevin have gotten out over the last week and a half or so. Lots of vlogs, snowboard reviews, all kinds of stuff. If you want to kind of see what it's like out there, it's a nice mix of conditions as well to show you guys. And there's still more videos to come. So yeah, check that out. I really want to check out Revelstoke, which is more in interior BC, more of kind of like a powder mountain. So yeah, hoping to do more resorts in Canada for sure. But Whistler is awesome. Yeah, I'm super stoked to have Kevin out there to show me around. Kevin's been there for like over 10 years and just knows Whistler so well. It was really cool to have him out there showing me around. It was a lot of fun. Dave Edgerango, TJ, what do you think about Rurocs? So Ruroc did send me out their new helmet to test out this year. I haven't done the review on it yet just because Colorado was off to such a slow start to the season. We were really struggling for snow. This past week we finally got some snow, so I'm hoping when I go back I'll be snowboarding there again on Thursday this week. That there's some powder there and things will be good, and that's one of the videos I'm going to be putting out real soon, man. So we're going to do a comprehensive review of the new Ruroc helmet. I tried it once at Arapahoe Basin and it was pretty cool. I don't think it's my cup of tea, just that full face coverage. I don't know, it's a little bit restrictive as far, I don't know. It was solid, but you know, if you're going to be out there riding like 4 hours in a row with no breaks and you just really wanted that full face coverage, it's definitely a good way to go. They also have a solid helmet mount, which is pretty cool, built into the helmet under the visor, which I thought was rad. And yeah, I think, you know, on cold days it might help keep your face a little bit warmer and more protected from the wind as well. All right, guys, so Pyro Rebel, awesome question here, man. Thoughts on hybrid profiles like Never Summer uses for beginners? Yeah, I think, if you're just starting out, a hybrid profile isn't a bad way to go. So he's talking about like Never Summer does rocker camber, or the ripsaw, which is very similar, just a little more camber to it. So that's rocker between your feet and camber under your feet. So you still get that catch-free, kind of loose, swivelly feeling that you would expect out of rocker, but you get a little bit more power and stability, when you're loading the board up and carving and stuff. So yeah, as I mentioned to someone else earlier, who was, they were looking for a good beginner Burton board, the Burton Custom Flying V. The Flying V is a really similar profile. The Flying V is a little bit more of an aggressive rocker. If he didn't specifically request a Burton recommendation, I may have threw something else out there. But yeah, Never Summer is pretty similar, not as crazy of an amount of rocker. So, but yeah, definitely solid. The Prototype 2 is actually one of my favorite boards I tested last year. So typically I'm a camber guy, but I thought the Prototype 2 was a ton of fun. So you can definitely have some good times with those hybrid camber profiles. So Hockett TV asks, what's the difference between a 0-0 stance and a 15-15 stance? So basically that is going to be the angle that your feet are. So 0-0 would be just perfectly straight. If the snowboard is this way, your feet are perfectly perpendicular with the board. 15 is going to be more angled out like that. So it'd be the same angle on the front and back, and it just kind of allows you to turn a little bit better and initiate rotation a little bit easier, whether you're going regular or switch. So yeah, my preferred stance is 15-15. All right. Justin Vasey asks, how does the K287 compare to the Burton Flight Attendant? Rode the 87 2 weeks ago, and it didn't hold its edge on ice as well as I would have liked. Man, I hope that, the edges were sharp. So the K287 doesn't have any type of additional contact points on it. It just has your kind of standard tapered side cut, which I think is a lot of fun for carving. Tapered side cuts, especially with that camber underfoot, allows you to set a really strong edge. Also, the K287 is naturally wide, so that kind of allows you to lay the board over a little bit more. The Flight Attendant is going to have... What up, guys? Sorry about that. Just having a little bit of issues with the internet connection here. I expected that might happen. I'm glad I was able to make it 30 minutes though. Hope some of you guys are still with me here. Yeah, so I'm just going to go straight through my cellular data now, which unfortunately also isn't the best connection out here. Not in my usual location here in Colorado, so sorry about those complications, guys. But hope you guys are still here with me. Shirzad Khan City, a regular here on the live streams with the $2 super chat. Thank you, man. Yeah, appreciate it. I'll put that towards the taco fund. Yeah, so when I was in Whistler with Kevin, we were getting a lot of super chats for the taco fund, and we went to this place called La Cantina. Chris joined us as well. It was delicious, so thank you guys for all of your super chats. I'm actually just going to pull up the super chat list and make sure I didn't miss anything else. Looks like just the one from Shirzad. Thank you, man. So I hope you guys can hear me and see me all right. If it's a really bad connection, let me know, and maybe I'll just call this a little bit early. Typically, I would still go for another 25 minutes, but if it's all super laggy and you can't hear me, I might cut it a little bit early. But for now, I'm going to keep going until I see some feedback from you guys. So, Joey Hertig asks, I'm on a freestyle team. I'm getting a new board. What should I get? I'm size 151. Man, I would recommend the Battalion Evil Twin. You'd have to get the 152, which is basically the same as a 151. Most companies either go one or the other. You could also check out like The GNU Headspace is another freestyle board that I really like, or the Never Summer Fun Slinger. Those are all three really fun. But yeah, check out the top freestyle picks video on the channel. We actually have a video on the channel just listing the top 5 freestyle picks for 2018. So check that out, or if you want to check out my gear guide, there's a link in the description, or there will be after this is over. Free gear guide, it's just a PDF that I put together for you guys, so if you want to check that out, yeah. That's there for you. The Herman family. If I see your question, I will answer it. If you could drop it again in the comments, I'd appreciate it, man. Any tips for switch riding from Feels Bad Man? Yeah, I think Kevin actually has some videos on the channel related to that. So if you want to go just to the main page on the channel and do a quick search, I think that will that'll help you out. There should be several videos on there about that topic. And yeah, just so you guys know, it's just where I am right now. It's a solid 20 miles outside of the closest town. So you know, we have the highest level of internet that's available, but it's still just a little bit slow. So sorry if it's a rough connection, but I thank you guys for hanging out and bearing with me. We got 76 people with us, so yeah, thank you guys for being here. I appreciate all you guys. Unless you know something goes really crazy, we're gonna keep this going for the full hour. We're gonna power through it. Skins, what GoPro do you recommend for snowboard vlogging? So right now, Kevin is using the GoPro Hero 5, and I'm using the GoPro Hero 6. Last year, all the previous board reviews were filmed on the Hero 4 Black. So all those worked really well, but honestly, there's a huge step up from the 4 to the 5. The 5 and 6 are fairly similar, so I'd recommend either going with the 5 or the 6. The quality is just so much higher. The audio is better, the video is better. You got you know, more options. You can shoot 4K, all kinds of cool stuff like that. You get the voice commands. And yeah, it works just directly with the Karma Grip too. So I think I sold Kevin on the Karma Grip. If you guys haven't seen it, there's a video on the channel called Scary Snowboarding Drone Style, and that was filmed with the Karma Grip on a pole, and that one came out really cool. Also, the Jones Mind Expander video is going to have some shots that were filmed in that style on it, so that one's really rad as well. But yeah, the Hero 6 and the Hero 5 are both super rad, man. I highly recommend them. But yeah, for vlogging, you know, as Kevin would say, the best camera is the one that you're going to use. I think that's a line from Casey Neistat, actually. So whether that's your cell phone, whether that's a GoPro, the camera that you're actually going to use is the camera that you want. So I do like GoPro, though. I would recommend the Hero 5 and 6. All right. The Human, watching from Norway. Awesome, man. Glad you could make it here. Any tips for riding bumpy slopes? Yeah, so I would say, so this is probably not what you would hear from an actual snowboard instructor. This is something that kind of came up recently. I never took lessons, so I guess my form isn't really on point as you would learn in a lesson, but I make it work. So for me, I would say, you know, you're going to be using your knees a lot, and I would say, you know, kind of shifting your lower body while keeping your upper body going in the same kind of general direction. So really use your legs and your hips to kind of go around those bumps and navigate through that bumpy terrain. Yeah, that's some high energy riding right there. So yeah, use your legs and your knees and your hips a lot to kind of swivel around your lower body. I think that would really help. Mitchell Jarvis, should I dull my edges for freestyle riding? You know, when I was riding in North Carolina, I used to, it was basically just like, if you guys have ever ridden App Terrain Park, it's basically just a skate park. There's not a whole lot of carving to be done. It does get icy, but I just detuned my edges completely just to make sure that I was never catching. But right now I no longer dull my edges at all. I just ride factory sharp edges. If you are gonna detune your edges anywhere, you know, right on near the contact points, you can detune them to make it a little less hooky. Or if you're doing a lot of jib stuff, between the bindings, but I wouldn't recommend detuning the whole edge. Otherwise, if you are on ice, you're really not going to have any grip. So between the bindings is probably the best place if you're doing any freestyle, and just leave the rest of the board sharp. But yeah, I ride factory sharp edges throughout the whole side cut, and I'm loving it. I do fine, and I can carve great, got great edge hold, and haven't really had any issues with catching on rails that I would say is due to the edges. If anything, it's just because of poor form. So glad to see we're back up to 100 people. Sorry about that interruption in the middle, guys, but I think we got it squared away. Thank you guys for being here. We're at 171 likes as well. If we can bump that up to 200, I would be super stoked. I wasn't sure how this stream was going to go coming from North Carolina, especially, you know, I kind of explained my internet situation, but I think we're doing good. So yeah, shout out to you guys. Thank you for being here. Best way to store your snowboard in your storage, from Audi. So whenever you're storing a snowboard for a long period of time, you definitely want to put a storage wax on it. So literally just hot wax your board and don't scrape it. And that's going to prevent the base from oxidizing and just kind of keep your base in good shape until next season. And then all you got to do is scrape the wax off, and you got a freshly waxed board ready to go for your first day on hill. So that's the biggest thing. Also, you know, you don't want to store it in extreme temperatures, not too hot, not too cold. You know, if you throw it in the basement or in a closet or something, I'm sure that'll be fine. And you don't want it to be stored with moisture either. You want to keep it dry. August Boy, what do you think about the Arbor Draft 2018? Thinking about buying it. The Arbor Draft is a great board. My roommate back in Colorado actually rides an older version of that board. It's a rocker snowboard, and it's a pretty soft flexing snowboard, so it's really maneuverable. It's easy to press. I would consider it more of kind of a jib-oriented board. You can definitely get those technical rail tricks down with it. And you're still going to get that grip tech in the side cut. So you're still going to have solid edge hold on ice thanks to that grip tech. So yeah, the Draft is awesome if that's the type of riding that you're looking to get into. Great question here. So we have a question from Linnea Lindblom. Thoughts on the Capita Birds of a Feather versus the Arbor Swoon? Man, I'm glad you brought those two boards up. Those are two of my favorite choices for ladies boards. So the Birds of a Feather is basically going to be the women's version of the Capita DOA. So if you guys have seen the review on that or seen the top 5 do-it-all board picks, definitely a fan of the DOA. It's a great snowboard. There are some other comparable options. It's not the end-all be-all snowboard. I see it, a lot of people are way too hyped on it, or super hyped on it. I wouldn't say too hyped, but yeah, it's a great snowboard. The Birds of a Feather is super rad as well. The Swoon is, I would recommend the camber version if you're like an aggressive rider looking for something with a lot of stability and pop and snap. The Swoon is sick. You're gonna get that bamboo top sheet. You're gonna get that grip tech side cut, sintered base, you know, full camber with the uprise fenders. So you get a few things that you don't get in the Birds of a Feather, or that Capita just doesn't even do. So mainly you're gonna get those uprise fenders, making it a little bit more catch free than the Birds of a Feather. And you're gonna get that grip tech side cut, so there's additional contact points underfoot helping you get grip on ice, which is pretty rad. And then the real wood top sheet. So Arbor, you know, that's kind of a play on their name. They do the real wood top sheets. So yeah, both sick snowboards. That's kind of the main differences between them, I think. So I'm just checking to make sure. Looks like no more super chats came through. I was just kind of scrolling up to make sure I didn't miss any super chats. But yeah, thank you guys that donated so far. I really appreciate it. Helps out a ton. It just helps keep the the channel going. Help with editing and you know, the camera gear and just all the time it takes. So yeah, thank you guys so much. Ben Eng, which Swallowtail board would you recommend? Well, I think after riding the Jones Mind Expander, that one's not a Swallowtail, but I suspect that the Storm Chaser would be pretty incredible. It's also shaped by Chris Christensen. Really, really fun snowboard. The Mind Expander, I think, has become my top favorite powder board. I just had such a great experience on it, just really charging hard in the powder, kind of attacking the powder as if it was a groomer, like over the nose, you know, not leaning back at all. So yeah, I think the Storm Chaser would be pretty rad. I've ridden the Burton Fish. That one is really cool too. And I know like the Nitro Quiver series is looking really rad this year, and they have some pretty sick Swallowtails, so you could check those out as well. Connor Harmon, any recommendations for a flexible budget board? Yeah, I'd say the Arbor Formula. That's kind of my go-to budget kind of beginner board. It comes in at $350 brand new, and you get you know, all those bells and whistles from Arbor that I was talking about. Another thing, I've been talking a lot about Arbor boards today, but another thing that you get with Arbor is 360-degree edges and a 360-degree stamped sidewall. So they're just super durable, high quality construction, great snowboards. They're also a carbon neutral company, so if you guys are into sustainability, Arbor is a good company to back. Also Mervin, they're a pretty sustainable company. Yeah, so GNU and Libtech, and then, you know, Capita and Niche and the other brands that are pressed in the mothership. I think Dinosaurs Will Die. The mothership is a really sustainable facility as well. So yeah. The Human, have you been to Austria? I was once about 10 years ago with my family. My family is originally from Germany, so we made a trip out there and did a little drive around from Munich. So I spent a couple of days, or I think maybe just one day in Austria, but never been snowboarding there. So hoping to get out there very soon. And then I Cook Cali, have you ever been to Mammoth Mountain? I have never been to Mammoth, but I will be there in about 2 weeks, and I'm super, super stoked. We'll be out there with the Sport RX guys, so if you guys have any goggle questions, make sure to join us on the live chats out there. Yeah, so Kevin and I and the Sport RX guys are probably going to do 2 live streams while we're out there. So really looking forward to Mammoth, hoping to try out some boards, and just the mountain looks so fun. I cannot wait to check it out and ride their park and just kind of explore a little bit. All right, let's see what we got here. So Gavin Harris, any opinion on the Ride Helix? Yep, so there is a video review on the channel if you want to check that out. But yeah, the Helix is one of my favorite freestyle options. It's definitely like an aggressive freestyle option. It's pretty stiff. It's a great jumping snowboard. You're going to get an asymmetrical side cut on that one, and yeah. Those are kind of the standouts for me. It's really good for carving. It's got a lot of stability, a lot of pop, good for jumping, and you get that asymmetrical side cut. So that kind of helps with your heel side carves, allowing you to carve more aggressively with less effort on your heels. Abel Feher, I know this isn't related to buying, but I'm starting tomorrow, and what's your basic advice? You know what, man? Kevin actually has a video. I think it's the Complete Beginner's Guide to Snowboarding. It's going to take you through everything you need to know, from strapping into your board, skating to the chairlift, riding the chairlift, all the way up to linking your first turns. So there's a ton of videos on the channel related to that. I believe there's even a beginner snowboard playlist, so I would just check out that playlist and kind of go through all the videos, as many as you can, you know. That's really going to provide you with the most value, man. So check out that playlist. Alright guys, so we've been going for about almost 50 minutes now. Typically I go for about an hour, so we'll go for about 10 more minutes. I'm going to answer a few more questions, and then if you guys got any more questions, or you want to just kind of hang out a little bit more, I'm going to be doing a live stream over on Patreon, just kind of a live hangout, a little more casual, a little bit more direct line of communication, a lot less people. You know, I'll answer all of your questions on there. So that's patreon.com/board archive if you want to join me over there here in about, we'll say 25 minutes. Give me 15 minutes in between this stream and that stream. Wouter de Pape, will you be reviewing the E-Jackknife? Yes, I will. I have access to that snowboard through my shop, so I will be reviewing the e-jackknife. Also going to be getting on the TRS, and I think there's some Never Summer Shaper Series boards like the Instigator that I'm going to be getting on, some Karua boards, so a lot of reviews coming up. Yeah, so definitely going to get on the e-jackknife though, to answer your question. Hoping to get on a bunch of Libtecs this year, but definitely the TRS and the e-jackknife. Yeah. So Marcus Larson asks, what do you think of the Burton Process Flying V? I'm not the biggest fan of Flying V. I think that it's just a little bit too aggressive. I think Kevin actually rode the Process Flying V for a whole season, so if you check out his video, Rocker vs. Camber, he's actually testing out the Process Flying V, or actually that might be the Custom Flying V versus the Process Camber. But yeah, I also did review the Burton Process versus the Burton Custom. So that'll give you kind of an idea what to expect out of the Process. But the Flying V is basically going to make it feel a little bit looser and softer. And I think if you're looking at that style of board, maybe check out the Never Summer Funslinger. I think that'd be a pretty good alternative for you without going quite as aggressive with the rocker as the Flying V is going to be. So, Frank M asks, how tight should you use your bindings for a park board? So I'm going to assume you mean like the straps. And I would say, I just get the straps where they're nice and snug on my boot, but they're not actually like compressing my boot. So especially your ankle strap, you can over tighten that and kind of cut off circulation to your foot. So you just kind of want to tighten it down where it's snug on your boot and then leave it there. You don't need to go crazy tight where you're really feeling it squeeze your foot. And as far as the screws go that mount the bindings to the board, you want those to be pretty snug and secure. You don't want to go crazy with it because you can actually push the screws through the base. I've seen that happen before. But just get it nice and tight. Hand tight is what I like to call it. Shirzad Khan City, I'm building a backyard setup with pipes and grass. What board should I use? Awesome, man. That's what's up. I'm actually working on getting my backyard setup in Colorado put together. Now that we got some snow, that should be rideable soon. Really, really stoked for that. I would get something that you're okay with damaging. If you have a rock board or an older board, I would use that one. You don't need to use like a top of the line board on a backyard setup because you're probably going to hit some rocks. Maybe like, might not be the most proper build your first time building it. Maybe, you smack into the rail or something. You want to be okay with damaging your board. So, that's kind of my 2 cents there, but stoked to hear you're building a backyard setup, man. That's going to be a lot of fun, and I think that's a great way to train and get a lot of laps really quickly, just kind of hiking in the backyard. So I'm going to scroll all the way down to the bottom here. Benjamin Ludwig asks, what's your favorite snowboard? Man, I couldn't possibly choose one snowboard as my favorite, but I will say currently I have 3 snowboards in my quiver for this season. My daily driver, kind of do-it-all freestyle leaning snowboard is the Battalion Evil Twin. My powder board is the K287, and then I also have the Ride Warpig in the 154. So it's super, super wide, and it's also a really versatile board. So that one's really fun for carving. Since it's so wide, I can really lay that board over and do some fun carving with it. So I'm hoping to get some fun carving videos out on that one with you. But yeah, those are my that's my personal setup this year. So hope that helps you out, man. Abel Fair, do you think skateboarding makes snowboarding easier? Definitely. I think there's a lot of crossover with snowboarding and skateboarding. I think skateboarding is much more difficult and more technical than snowboarding. So if you're solid on a skateboard, I think you're not going to have too much trouble kind of translating those skills over to a snowboard. So yeah, definitely helps out. Benjamin Osmanovich, what gloves do you recommend? So Kevin is running the Dakine. I forget what the model is. He's got some Dakine gloves that are pretty rad, and I'm running the Crab Grab Punch Mitt this year. Been really stoked with them. They're super warm, much warmer than I thought they were going to be actually. So yeah, the Crab Grab Punch Mitt is really good. Dakine makes some solid gloves as well. Also Howl gloves, if you want to check them out, I think make some pretty solid gloves. So right after the live stream is over, I'm gonna pop some links in the description for you guys. I'll put in some links to the boards we've been talking about, as well as my setup that I run. So the link to my gloves will be down there for you as well, man. So make sure to check that out. Got about just a couple minutes to go, guys. So again, thank you guys for being here. Make sure to keep your eyes peeled for Kevin going live every Friday. So if you got any questions for Kevin, he'll be going live 2 p.m. Pacific Standard Time on Friday. I'll be back next Monday, 2 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, and I'll be back in Colorado. So back to the usual routine, smooth sailing. Thank you guys for bearing with me today. I know we had a couple of technical glitches, but I think we made it, and hopefully everything looks smooth. So yeah, appreciate all you guys. Let's get to a quick couple more questions here while we still got some time. Gage Spencer, give me a shout out. Shout out to Gage. Thanks for being here, man. Stoked you're part of the community. Ravid Efroni, should I get a full camber if I want to ride faster? I don't necessarily think, it has to be full camber, but camber dominant for sure. So like, primarily camber, like I would consider the Huck Knife camber dominant, even though it's got rocker in the tips. All battalions are going to be full camber. The Jones Flagship is actually my top board for just going really fast and free riding, and it actually has rocker in the nose and tail. But it pretty much has no speed limit. The Flagship is a crazy awesome snowboard. So yeah, if you want to ride fast and have stability, you definitely want to go with something camber dominant, I would say. Mito Affelstedt, I can't get the Arbor formula where I'm from. Do you have any other recommendations for beginners? Yeah, in the gear guide that there'll be a link in the description if you guys want to check that out. So that's going to be just a free download for you. I have my beginner recommendations in there. Kevin also put a video on the channel, top 5 beginner snowboard picks, if you want to check that out. But yeah, I would also check out the GNU Carbon Credit or the Battalion Fun Kink. Those are both going to be solid beginner options, man. Not sure what's available where you're from, but hopefully one of those 3 are available for you. All right, guys. Let's see here. Josh Zlender, great question here. Yes, the Greats versus the Burton Custom. Very different snowboards. So the Greats is camber dominant, but it's got a rocker in the nose and tail. It's like a mid soft flexing board. I'd say around a 4 out of 10, and it's a true twin with an asymmetrical side cut. So definitely a little more freestyle focus in the Custom. Whereas the Custom is really kind of a do-it-all kind of quiver killer board. So it comes with a setback stance, but it's got a twin flex. So if you push the stance forward about a ½ inch, you're going to be centered in the side cut with a twin flex. It'll ride like a true twin. If you ride on the reference, you'll be set back. It'll have more float and powder. Really versatile, definitely much more aggressive than the Greats, but both really fun snowboards. So I actually put the Custom in my top 5 do-it-all snowboard picks. Definitely hope you guys check out those videos, put a lot of work into them, and yeah, those are kind of my top recommendations. We got one for do it all, we got one for Butters, we got one for Freestyle, and we got one for Freeride as well. So hope you guys check that out.